Hi everyone, we're now going to look at simplifying fractions. Simplifying fractions is finding the smallest whole number numerator equivalent fraction. That's a bit of a mouthful. Easier to show than it is to say. We know from previous examples that a half and 2/4 and 3/8, that's not right, 4/8. Let me fix this up. 4/8 and 8/16 are all equivalent fractions. This one is simply this one multiplied by 2 on 2. This one is simply that one multiplied by 2 on 2. That one is simply that one multiplied by 2 on 2. But which is the one in simplest form? Now we say the one in simplest form is the one with the lowest whole number numerator and denominator. So in this case, it would be a half. Now the question is, how do we find that one if we have any of the others? Well, we do the same process that we do for equivalent fractions, just in reverse. So in the past we have multiplied, this time we're going to divide. In some classes I would teach this as multiplying by fractions, but I think in this case it's just going to be easier to do the same thing to the numerator and denominator. So, in the case of 2/4, if we divide both by 2, we will get back to a half. And when we get to a half, we can't go any further, because if whatever number I divide by 1, I'm going to end up with a non-whole number answer unless I divide by 1, and that's a little bit pointless because it gets me back to what I started with. In the case of 8/12, the highest common factor is 4, the biggest number that will divide into both of them, both 8 and 12. So 8 divided by 4 will give me 2, 12 divided by 4 will give me 3. I end up with an answer of 2/3. 70 on 80, well, we can divide both by 10. That's the highest common factor, and that will give me 70 divided by 10 is 7, and 80 divided by 10 is 8. There's lots of equivalent fractions we could do, but this is the one in simplest form. Sometimes it's best to do it in 2 steps if the numbers are big or if you're not sure of your times tables. So in the case of 20 divided by 28, we might decide to first halve them. So I've divided both by 2. It's not the highest common factor, but it's an easy one to work with. So 20 divided by 2 will give me 10 on 14. They're both even numbers, so I can still go further. I might divide by 2 again. So 10 divided by 2 will give me 5. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7. I no longer have a whole number common factor, so that will be the number in simplest form. It's always worth thinking about what's going to happen pictorially. When we divide the numerator and denominator by 2, what we're effectively saying is wherever I've got 2 parts, make it 1 part. So took away the 2 parts here and made 1 part, took away the 2 parts here and made 1 part, and I ended up with a fraction. In both cases, all parts are still the same size, so we can still name them as fractions, which is important. If we'd taken away parts and ended up with smaller parts and bigger parts, we wouldn't have been able to name it as a fraction when we were finished. Okay, I think that's it, and thank you.